We're 3 weeks in. We had a couple of weeks of preseason that the NCAA allowed us this year, which was good. You know, we got a chance to kind of slow things down and really spend time on development. But, you know, as far as full go, this is week 3 right now. No, we got fall break coming up. We're going to give them some time off for that. So we don't know a ton right now, other than just where we're at in the development process, and really where we're at just effort-wise is probably the biggest measuring stick for us. And you know, you learn a lot when you start competing, but they're competing in that room every day too, and so we're learning there. And so, you know, what things that we like is our effort. We like the attitude. It's a group. We got a big group, the most we've ever had actually on our roster. But it's a group that's coming in motivated, excited to get better, and, you know, really paying attention to the details, which is what it takes, especially, you know, these first couple weeks where you're spending all this time and you're learning and teaching, making sure that they're jumping levels. And the other part of it is too, as many new guys as we have on our roster this year, they've done an outstanding job of buying in and jumping levels. And so it's been a fun couple weeks, you know, and you know, we're getting to that point. You know, this is usually about the time, week 3, week 4, where they're starting to itch to compete, you know. And so, you know, we're 2 weeks away from today. We compete. We have our first duel, and then we'll take everybody to the Luther Open. So, which is coming up quick too. So that stuff's coming. You know, obviously we'll be excited to compete when we get there. But we're just trying to keep the focus on day-to-day development and helping these guys jump levels.
Obviously, you've always had some pretty big teams. So it's the biggest. How do you structure things so that you can put together a puzzle with this many pieces, Coach?
Well, you have a lot of different parts to it. You know, I mean, different levels. You know, some guys that are returning that are really high level, and you got some guys that are still pretty early learning stages. You know, and so. But the reality is fundamental skills can always be reviewed, you know, and we've been spending a lot of time on those fundamentals. But, you know, managing that many personalities and you know, our goal is to get to know each and every one of them well enough to know exactly what each guy needs, you know, what motivates them and you know, what area they got to get better at. Instilling that confidence in each and every guy. You know, luckily we have over 10 coaches on staff, you know, and coaches that are bought in, they get that part, you know, that it's not just working on wrestling, it's helping them believe in themselves and, you know, helping them be great off the mat and all they do. And so, you know, when you have a high level expectation for guys, and that's why they come, you know, because they want to be pushed, they want to be stretched, they want to find out how good they can be in everything they do, you know, and so they're motivated to do that, and then you have the support with staff to back that up.
You have some guys that reached what they wanted last year, some guys that fell short. How do you motivate the guy that has already been to the top? How do you get the guy that wanted to get to the top that just fell short?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, as a team, we didn't get what we wanted, you know, and so there's that motivation alone. You know, for guys that are returning that won the title, to win that second one's always harder. It is. You know, I mean, and you got a target on your back, and if you think what you did the first time around is what's going to help you win the next one, you're wrong. It's going to take more. It's going to take more, you know, and, you know, so I think letting them know that, which we have, and the good part is they know that, and they've been training that way. And, you know, I think if you talk to anybody in our room, it'd be a consensus that those guys are on a mission. And so, and it's obviously it's easy to motivate guys that didn't get what they want because they're hungry, you know, and they're after something that they fell short on, you know, and that heartache drives you. And, you know, this is a sport that it's a lifestyle, you know, and it's everything that you put into it. And so when you fall short, it hurts. And so that sting's still there, but, you know, turning the page and focusing on what's ahead and, you know, just doing everything that you can every single day to make sure you don't have that regret.
Got a lot of familiar faces on this roster, but obviously there's probably some newcomers, you know, whether they're fresh first years or maybe second years. Who are some of the new faces that we're gonna could be potentially push for a lineup spot?
You know, there's a lot of weights that are pretty wide open, in all honesty. You know, and I hate naming names because inevitably you do. You leave, yeah, there's a lot of names. You know, well, we had 30 new guys, you know, and so with 30 new, you know, I mean, there's a lot of new faces and, you know, weight-wise, I mean, there's some weights these guys are gonna, the good part is it's wrestling. They get to solve it. They get to figure that out, you know, and so, you know, we'll be evaluating everything they do all year long, and, you know, with the numbers that we do have, you know, it's highly competitive, and there's some depth, and so, you know, that motivates guys every day, and it's going to help each and every guy rise to another level.
I didn't see Jake Walker's name. Is he part of your squad this
He
year?
is, yeah. He's currently we actually have two guys that are playing football, Zach Crawford and Jake Walker. So
how do you do that? Because obviously Coach Winter's weight goals for them are different than your weight goals for them, and Coach hopes to keep them through the middle of December.
we hope they're going through the middle of December.
Yeah.
My goal for them is the same. I want them to win the title. You know, I mean, Jake's an easy one because he's heavyweight. He just keep on eating and lifting. You know, Zach's in a little different situation because he's not. But, you know, ultimately, this is the conversation we had with them was this is football season for them. And that's where their focus should be. And do everything you can right now to be a part of that program and contribute in every way you can. And when that's done, then we'll focus on the next goal.
National Jewels returns to the Unidome, I think, in over 10 plus years. What excites you about that?
Everything excites me about that. Honestly, I am so happy. You know, I mean, that was such an amazing event, you know, and people that went to the event back then, however long ago it was, you know, it was awesome, you know, and, you know, the NWCA does a great job with that event, and they've worked hard to try and find locations each and every year, and it's switched around. Hopefully this is the permanent home, you know, because wrestling in Iowa is different, you know, and the fan base and the level of support that come out and support that event. No, we're excited it's back at the Dome, and hopefully it stays there.
Kind of on that note too, you know, national championships will be in lacrosse this year, so again, kind of back in the Midwest.
Yeah, we're thankful for that. You know, we're still trying to sort through where the regional's going to be, the bidding process, but I'm hoping it works out where it's going to be in Cedar Rapids. That's the goal right now of our lower Midwest regional. So, I mean, it would be nice to have that right there in Cedar Rapids and then the national tournament in lacrosse. So it's close for our fan base. And, you know, I mean, Midwest always seems to, on a national level at the event, the support's there.
And we'll hear from him next, but part of your role as director of wrestling, this being the inaugural season for women's wrestling, what fires you up about that squad?
Can't wait. Honestly, cannot wait. You know, they compete soon. They compete a week from this Saturday already, and I'm beyond excited for them. You know, and I've tried to watch as many of those practices as I can. And Coach Kiner's doing an outstanding job. You know, him and Carrie Ann are motivated. They absolutely love their girls, and I know they're going to talk about it. But these women are working their butts off, and it's been fun to see their development just in this short amount of time. So, no, I'm excited about it. You can definitely feel that excitement and that buzz around just, you know, having an inaugural program. I mean, that's something new. So.
Logistically, how are you finding officials that can, you know, do both styles?
We're still working on that. You know, where it's an issue realistically for us is our desert duels that we host in Las Vegas. We're working on, because that 3 years ago, we started having women's wrestling at that event, and that's taken off on the women's side. So both sides, there's a lot of teams coming for that. And so, you know, trying to find officials that do the women's, do the freestyle, because they wrestle freestyle. We're still trying to figure that out and sort through, because there's not as many. I mean, that's the reality. There's just not as many officials, but you know, and especially that Vegas tournament's during the U.S. Open going on down in Texas, so we're still sorting that out. But you know, I mean, there's still a few things that we're still figuring out and working through, but it's all great stuff.
Good luck this season.
Thank you.